Colorado High School Activities Association football is on 1010 KSIR and on the World Wide Web at KSIR.com tonight. From Fort Lupton High School, it's the Brush Bead Diggers and the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. John Beltran back with Dave Uhrig. About ready for this opening kickoff, and the opening kickoff tonight is brought to you by Buildings by Design, the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. Dave, I'm saying Jaron goes for a couple hundred tonight. I just sense it. I sense strongly after he put up over 170 last week that he could certainly get it done, assuming he stays healthy throughout the course of the game.
And he's got to hold on to the football.
Yeah, that's certainly a huge key. That was an issue a couple of weeks ago against Weld Central. To kick it off, it's going to be Andrew Adame for the Rebels. Tom Galicia, the head coach at Fort Lupton, assisted by Marcus Lennox, Stephen Flickinger, Jose Rosales, Jordan LaRoche, Hector Solis, and Thomas Galicia. Reed Call, the head coach of the Bead Diggers, assisted by Rick Call, I should say. Can't get that right. Ken Call, Aaron Quinlan, Travis Lefevre, Dusty Quick, Brady Walter, and Bob Baer. And here's a short kick. It's going to be fielded by one of the up men at the 15-yard line to the 20, across the 25, running towards the outside at the 30, now down at the 32. Is that Trent Mount who's back for the Bead Diggers? It is. That's where the Bead Diggers will start, at the 32-yard line. Quarterback by Cade Uhrig. So this will be a big sign, Dave. Pretty good field position to begin their first drive. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line for the Bead Diggers. Naked backfield, trips to the right, 2 to the left. So a wide open formation to begin their first drive and first play. Out of the gun, Uhrig, 3-step drop, pressure coming, throws, he's hit, and it's picked off. Up the left sideline, inside the 20-yard line, towards the 16. That was picked off by a Blue Devil. Not sure who the pass was intended for, but that was simply an indication of Fort Lupton getting free with the defender on Uhrig. And the pass was picked off by a linebacker in A.J. Garcia, a 5'10", 160-pound sophomore. Very bad start for the Bead Diggers, Dave.
Yeah, those turnovers don't help. You know, that time Fort Lupton was having a hard time making an adjustment. I think our offensive line lost track of who they were supposed to block because they had some stemming going on.
1st and 10 for Fort Lupton at the 16-yard line. Out of the gun, there's the give on the right side with not much room, trying to get around the outside and thrown for a loss. About a 5 or 6 yard loss as the play was made over there by Nick Wellen as Jalen Torres. It'll be 2nd down and 15 to go for the 21 on the loss of 5 there by Jalen Torres.
Awkward formation by Fort Lupton with the quarterback in a shotgun, but they also had a fullback and a halfback that were in I formation behind him.
Lining up on the right side of the field, 2nd down and 15 from the 21. Elijah Vargas out of the gun, only about 3 steps behind the center. He's going to pitch it left, same running back. Torres cuts it back to the inside, and he's going to back his way right back to the line of scrimmage. Bead Diggers with a lot of pursuit there. Jaron Peterson and about 3 others in to make the play. Ryan Dunker was the first in on the hit. It'll be 3rd down. We'll call it 14, a gain of 1 for Torres.
Dunker's just been a slam dunk for the Diggers this year at that linebacker position. He comes up and makes those tackles, just sure tackles. Not too many times do you see offensive running backs getting away from him.
3rd down and 14 to go for the Bead Digger 20 following the interception. Out of the gun, Vargas rolls to his right, pressure coming, throws to his right, the pass is intercepted at the 5-yard line, across the 10 to the 15, and it is picked off by Jade Queen, who had a touchdown last week on a reception, and the teams exchange interceptions. Bead Diggers have it deep in their own territory.
Well, we'll take that. Defense was staying pretty much the same as what we've been running all year. We had 5 guys up there on the front, and Queen's done a pretty good job dropping back into those passing lanes this year.
Dave, let's see if the formation changes based on what happened or Reed Call sticks with it. But this time, looks like they're going with one of those double tight type of formations. 1st and 10. There's the give on the left side. Peterson with a big hole. Back up the middle. First down. He's across the 25 towards the 30 for Jaron Peterson. That's what the Beat Diggers expect throughout the course of the night. A gain of 16 to the 31. 1st and 10 for Brush.
Yeah, just ran left. That unbalanced look when they brought that extra blocker over there. Now they're running unbalanced right.
Beat Diggers back up to the line of scrimmage. And it's really not a double tight because there are no tight ends in there. It's just a tight formation. From the 31. This time it's a pitch to Peterson right. Gets a seam to the outside across the 35 and then backs his way towards the 37, maybe the 38, Dave. That's a gain of 7 and 2 carries for Peterson. He's got 23 yards, 130 away. We're doing the countdown for 1,000 in 2016. We'll get to the Beat Diggers starting lineup as we're mentioning many of the linemen there. Isaac Romero, Daniel Abadica, Andrew Guzman, Riggs Tan, Kenny Stegner. From the 38. 2nd down and 3. Handoff. Peterson right side. 1st down into the secondary. Across the 45 to the 46. Give him a gain of 8 yards. And Peterson is now up to 31 yards on 3 carries. And Brush, Dave, is wasting no time.
That's right. And Fort Lupton's trying to stop the run. They've got 6 guys up there on that line of scrimmage. Just kind of balanced on both sides of the ball.
1st and 10 for Brush. At the 46, going to give it to Peterson again, and he gets the pitch, and that time he's hit in the backfield and loses a yard. Stuck there at the 45-yard line. Keep in mind that Fort Lupton is wearing their dark blue uniforms, their royal blue. Andrew Adame and Jalen Torres made the hit. 2nd down and 11 for Brush, and I know Peterson's a workhorse, got it about close to 30 times last week, but he's got 4 in a row so far in this game.
Yeah, and, that's something running backs like. They like to get in the rhythm, but Fort Lupton stacking the box that last time. This time they got their linebackers back a little bit.
2nd down and 11 for the Beat Diggers at their own 45-yard line. No score, 8.5 to go in the opening quarter. Both teams have exchanged turnovers out of the gun. Urick, quarterback draws, got a seam to the outside, runs into a blocker, cuts back towards the middle, is across the 45 towards the 50-yard line. Dave, I thought he had a seam towards the middle, and then too much dancing there by Cade Urick. He was able to gain close to 5 yards, but it could have been a little bit better. Nonetheless, Beat Diggers in a manageable 3rd and 6 situation.
Yeah, once he made his decision to take it to the outside, he ran right into his tackle over there, and that guy was his biggest defender.
3rd down and 6 to go, just shy of midfield. Could be 4-down territory. Receivers split out to the left and right. Man in motion to the left is Peterson. Has it on the end around. He's stuck in the backfield for a big loss. That was read beautifully. A Fort Lupton Blue Devil came unblocked. It's a loss of 5. It'll be 4th down and about 11. The tackle was made by Freddie Suarez, but the Beat Diggers on 2 or 3 plays so far, Dave, have missed blocking assignments.
Right. Part of that's because Fort Lupton's got a lot of guys up there on the line of scrimmage, and again, they looked like they were going to just have 6 guys up there and a couple linebackers, but they ended up pretty much stacking the box. Even when they spread their guys out, their corners are just playing 2 yards off the line of scrimmage, really getting in our receivers' faces.
4th down and 11. Beat Diggers are going to go for it here at their own 45. Trips to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Urick out of the gun, and now the Beat Diggers, I believe, call a timeout. Timeout is brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance, Home Auto Life and Health. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to the office of Greg Mullen and Brush. 842-4555. Mention the Beat Diggers starting lineup, which is brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan. Locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Available 24/7 for your banking needs. Cade Urick, Adrian Lopez, Jade Queen, the freshman Nick Wellen. Mentioned Peterson and Ryan Dunker, and the line there of Isaac Romero, Daniel Abadica, along with Andrew Guzman, Riggs Tan, and Kenny Stegner. Now the Beat Diggers have elected a punt. And that should be Abadica out there. Hard to tell if that's Torres is the deep man for Fort Lupton. Yeah, feast or famine so far for Peterson. Had some nice runs and then took some losses. And there's a fake to Peterson, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield. So that goes as a carry for Peterson on the fake on the short snap. He loses a yard to the 44, and Fort Lupton is in brush territory for the second straight drive, and that fake completely backfired.
You know, Fort Lupton's got a bunch of really strong kids, and they always have had, and those kids come across the line of scrimmage, and once they get a hold of you, you're not going to get away from them. But I respect the call there by Coach Call. You know, it's the last game of the year. You got to give some of those plays that you practice off and on during the season a shot, and they gave it a shot right there.
First and 10 for Fort Lupton at the 44 of Brush. Out of the gun is Vargas. Option right. He will pitch it there to Torres, and he is taken down on a beautiful tackle by Trent Mount. It's a gain of a yard, if even that. Looks like it's back to the line of scrimmage. Second down and a short 10 to go for Fort Lupton. 6:39 to go opening quarter. No score in the regular season finale for both teams, who are 0-4 in the Patriot East, 1-7 overall.
I'm glad to see Mount getting in there playing in this game as a senior. You know, he already had a couple of plays. He's going to remember that.
Second down and 10 to go. Back to throw Vargas. Pressure coming up the middle. He's going to wiggle his way out of it, break a couple of tackles, still on his feet, and he's going to be down at the 35. But let me tell you, that could have been a much worse play for Fort Lupton. Instead, Nick Wellen makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 9, 3rd and 1.
Boy, is Vargas ever shifty. He's got a lot of speed. And forced those diggers into over pursuing him, and as soon as they got out there, he wasn't afraid to cut back and take advantage of it.
Third down and 1 to go from the 35-yard line. Out of the gun is Vargas. He's going to hand it off right side, and nothing, maybe a loss. Gave it to the, looked like the fullback, and the Beat Diggers in on the play. Adrian Lopez and Nick Wellen. And that was Kobe Galicia, sophomore. No gain. Fourth down and a yard to go. Obviously, Fort Lupton with 5:19 to go in the opening quarter will go for it.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose either. I'm sure Coach Galicia wants to pull some of his tricks out of his pocket too.
And Fort Lupton has called a timeout. So far, Dave, we have seen either some substantial plays or quite a few losses already in this game.
Well, like I said, Fort Lupton's got some scrappy kids. They're strong and quick, and the Diggers try to get outside on them, and it seems like whenever we try to attack outside, their defensive ends get across the line really quick, and either our tight end or our running back that's supposed to make the block just isn't able to do it, and those guys are pretty sure-handed tacklers out there in the open field.
All right, we'll see what the Blue Devils go with. I mean, you would think just a simple handoff, but that's what they tried on the previous play. And it did not work. The Beat Diggers tried some trickery moments ago. And that, unfortunately for Brush, backfired on him on a fake on a fourth down and 11. 4th and 1 from the 35. Out of the gun. Handoff, right side, stutter stepping, first down. That's a nice move by Torres. As the tackle was made over there by Abarca inside the 35 to the 32. Needed 1, he got 3. And the drive continues for the Blue Devils in Beat Digger territory.
Yeah, the Diggers had 2 guys out there ready to turn him back in, but just didn't have the pursuit they needed to make that tackle when he cut back.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils at the 32-yard line. Receiver split left and right. The deep back is Jalen Torres. Elijah Vargas out of the gun. 2-step drop, throws over the middle, incomplete behind the receiver on the slant. Second down and 10. Gavin Case, the intended receiver, 5'5", 132, so not a big target, Dave. Got to be accurate with those throws.
Yep, and he sure was, and he was about 3 yards behind him. That was more of a timing pattern where it was just that quick slant and really needed to get the ball out in front of him and down low.
Second down and 10 for the 32 of Brush. Again, out of the gun. There is the pitch left to Torres, swinging it to the outside. Wellen giving chase, can't make the play inside the 20 to the 15. A first down. Didn't get quite to the 15-yard line. Back across the 20. But it's a big play there for Torres. It's a gain of 15 yards to the 17. Second first down in 3 plays for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, that was just a real nice quick pitch, and our defensive end was fighting, trying to keep that tight end from getting his outside shoulder, but he just couldn't quite get it, and Torres showed his speed and made the corner.
1st and 10 for Fort Lupton at the Brush 17-yard line. Again, out of the gun. There was movement, and I'm not sure if that was Fort Lupton or Brush. Both sides moved. The Bee Diggers are claiming it was the Blue Devils, and it was the Blue Devils moving along the right side of the offensive line.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
It'll be 1st down and 15 at the Bee Digger 22. 4:11 to go first quarter. Cade Urich threw an interception, then Elijah Vargas threw one that was picked off by Jade Queen. But the Bee Diggers did not do much with the football. From the 22, 3-step drop, throwing to his left, open underneath. The pass is caught for a short gain along the far side and trying to break a tackle. I think the ball is loose and the Bee Diggers might have picked it up. And they did, and now we got a flag down. A Bee Digger picked it up along the far sideline. And that was picked up by Queen. But let's see what the flag is all about, Dave. It was impossible to tell who caught that ball for Fort Lupton right in front of the Bee Digger bench across the way. Now let's see what the flag is all about. But that's a second turnover against Fort Lupton, I'm assuming. So it was Ivan Quesada. All right, Dave Urich apparently with X-ray vision.
I don't have X-ray vision. I just saw him hustling off the field really quick.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you kept your eyes on him. Ivan Quesada then. It'd be a gain of 5, and then with a fumble. We're still waiting for the preliminary signal off the penalty. The football is at about the 26-yard line. It's a face mask against Fort Lupton, personal foul. That was off the fumble recovery by Jade Queen. So the Bee Diggers will have it probably at the 41-yard line then with 3:57 to go in the opening quarter.
We've had trouble making tackles out there at the corner throughout the whole season. The last couple of weeks it's really improved, and there was a good example where the kid caught the ball, that Quesada caught the ball, but Brush was able to lock on him and hold on to him, and that allowed Queen to come in there and help jar the ball free.
Remember, Dave, the Bee Diggers forced 3 turnovers last week in the second half against Platte Valley. Now they've got 2 more here in the first quarter against Fort Lupton, so that's 5 in less than 3 quarters. 1st and 10 for Brush at their own 41-yard line. Let's see if Jaron Peterson is going to get the football. He will. Hand off left side, back up the middle, still on his feet. Across the 45 to the 47. It's a gain of 6 for Jaron Peterson. 2nd down and 4 for the Bee Diggers.
If you're keeping count, that gets him back up to 28 yards. He was at 35 or 30 yards there for a little while after a couple of tackles for loss.
Again, he needs 153 to reach 1,000 for the season. Handoff, Peterson stutter steps, and then he's hit at the 50 for a gain of 3. It's 2nd down and 1 to go for Brush. 3rd down and 1, I should say, at midfield. Approaching the 3-minute, 15-second mark of the opening quarter. No score. Both offenses have had limited success. Now let's see how Brush responds in a 3rd and 1 from midfield. Peterson's had a bevy of carries already, including on a 4th down fake. Handoff, Peterson left side, 1st down across the 50, tackled around the ankles at the 45 by Torres, a gain of 5. And the Bee Diggers are in Fort Lupton territory.
Yeah, Fort Lupton's got 5 guys up there on the line of scrimmage again, and that time they blitzed the guy over here on the left side in between our guard and our tackle. Peterson got the ball and saw that. He made a cut, and they didn't have a linebacker there to make the tackle once he broke past that line of scrimmage.
1st and 10 for Brush at the 45 of Fort Lupton. Under center, Urich, counter, Peterson. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and then is back to the line of scrimmage as he spun at the 45. Excellent penetration there by the Blue Devils. It'll be 2nd down and 10 as Matthew Brown, a sophomore, made the hit for Fort Lupton.
Fort Lupton's got a big nose guard, number 57, Cody Bravo Packer. He's 6'2", 270 pounds, and boy, he holds his ground in there.
On 2nd down and 10 from the 45, trips to the right, 2 to the left, and now Trent Mount is the quarterback. Looking over towards the Diggers sideline. Back to throw as Mount, pressure coming, heaves it up the middle, and that pass is going to be incomplete. It went through Peterson's hands at about the 17. Pretty good throw there. The Fort Lupton defender was pretty close, but it should have been caught by Peterson. Third down.
Yeah, the kid did a good job. The Fort Lupton defender did a good job of jumping up in the air, and I think it might have caused Peterson to get distracted a little bit, but the kid didn't touch the ball, and the ball actually came down and hit Peterson right in the numbers.
Third down and 10 for Brush at the 45-yard line of Fort Lupton. Well, let's see if they put it up once again. I'm assuming once again this is 4-down territory. Urich is now under center. And Urich looking. Now he's going to pitch it right over to Trent Mount, and there was some confusion there. He's going to be thrown for a huge loss. Dave, I have no idea what happened there, but that was a mess. And the Beat Diggers have the ball back in their own territory, a loss of about 9. And there was obviously some confusion. Urich looked one way, Mount the other, then he pitched it after some hesitation. And now the Beat Diggers have a 4th and 19.
Yeah, that was just that was just forgetting the play. That's all you can say about that one.
About got a punt. I doubt they'll fake it this time. They're in the same area of the field they faked it last time. Perfect snap. Here comes some light pressure. He gets it off. That's a gorgeous punt. Fair catch at about 21. The ball is dropped, but he falls on it for Fort Lupton. And for the first time, Fort Lupton is backed up with 1:10 to go in the opening quarter. No score from Bob Phelps Field in Fort Lupton. They'll have it at the 22-yard line.
I got to have a shout-out for my nephew, Toby. Toby Urich running the state championships tomorrow in Colorado Springs. Also, congratulations to Peyton Urich, my cousin.
Yep.
Finished his final football game for Otis High School and led in tackling a good part of the year this year, and just had a great career down there.
Yeah, ended up being lost to Fleming, but that was going to be a tough game for Otis to win. But heck, they made the playoffs, which is a big thing. Elijah Vodgas out of the gun, 1st and 10 for the 22. Looks like Peterson might be coming on a blitz. No, he backs up, back to throw. Pressure coming backside. He runs out of it across the 25, up the middle to the 30. First down to about the 33, 34-yard line. As you mentioned, Dave, the quarterback, Vodgas, is very shifty, and that time it resulted in a gain of 12.
Yeah, he's one of those kind of guys that you're just going to have to break down. You can't run up there and break down of him, within. You better give him about 5 yards where you set your feet and make him make his choice before you try to tackle him.
1st and 10 for Fort Lupton at their own 34 after the gain of 12. Down to 43 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. 2 receivers out to the right. Again, Peterson looking like he's coming on a blitz. This will be a handoff left side to Torres. He's got a seam across the 35 and down at about the 36. It'll be a gain of 2. Let's see if they give him the 37. No, it'll be a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 to go for Fort Lupton. They might get a playoff here before the end of the quarter. Back up to the line of scrimmage with 7 seconds to go in the opening quarter. 2nd down and 8 from the 36. Out of the gun is Vodgas. Awaits a snap. He gets it off. Hand off to the up man and thrown for a loss. Back for about a loss of 1. And that was Galicia. And that's the end of the quarter with the score. Fort Lupton nothing, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran back with Dave Urich as we start the second quarter in Fort Lupton. No score between the Beat Diggers and Blue Devils in this regular season finale. Fort Lupton's got the ball 3rd down and about 9 at their own 35-yard line. Fort Lupton turned it over twice in the opening quarter. The Beat Diggers had 1 miscue as well. It's amazing how you have a much clearer view when the action's right on top of you. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Elijah Vodgas out of the gun. Beat Diggers are definitely coming on a blitz. And he's back to throw. Now he throws over the middle. The pass is caught underneath of the 40-yard line and spinning across the 45 to the 50. That's a 1st down and a gain of 15 to the tight end, Freddie Suarez. The Beat Diggers gambled, Dave, and it backfired.
Yep, whenever you send a blitzer, that means you're going to leave something open. And you can't sit back and and Wade either. You know, if you're a defense that's able to control things without blitz, and that's one thing, but when you got to try to make things happen, you know, you're going to pay the price once in a while.
First down and 10 from midfield as the Blue Devils have 2 first downs here in 3 plays after starting the drive at the 22. Out of the gun, handoff Torres right side, and the Beat Diggers are there to meet him in the backfield. Looked like Kenny Stegner and a couple of others were able to make the play. And chalking Andrew Guzman in on that tackle. It's a loss of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 12 to go for the Blue Devils.
Torres is quick, but Brush has held him to 14 yards on 7 carries.
Well, if Torres is playing quarterback, he might gain more yards because that's where you mentioned where the Beat Diggers are having trouble when Vargas goes back to pass.
Yeah, Vargas has got 20 yards on 3 carries.
On 2nd down and 12 for the 48-yard line. 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right with 1 setback. That is Torres. Back to throw, deep drop, heaving it down the middle. That's going to be incomplete. In fact, Trent Mount was right on top of the receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 12. Excellent defense by the Beat Diggers.
Yeah, he did a really good job of getting his body in front of the Fort Lupton receiver and not allowing that kid to have a chance at running underneath the ball.
Jalen Torres was the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 12. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, there to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. Morgan Community College. 3rd and 12 from the 48. Baxton and I. This will be a pitch, and it looks like we're coming on a reverse right side, and nearly a block in the back, and then taken down beautifully. Gavin Case was taken down there for a huge loss. Was that Guzman, Dave? I think he made a tremendous play, and that loss goes back to about the 31-yard line. That's a loss of 17. What a play by Guzman.
Yeah, the old reverse, and it didn't fool Guzman. He was about 5 yards upfield. Ran out there, reached out with his left hand, and actually spun him around with one arm and threw him down.
Yeah, like a rag doll. But then again, Guzman is probably about 80 pounds
bigger,
heavier than Gavin Case. Now the Blue Devils to punt here on a 4th down and about 29. Heavy rush, and it's going to be a fairly short punt towards the sideline. Takes a bounce at the Digger 40, and now takes a Fort Lupton roll down to the 30-yard line. That ends up being a 39-yard punt by Bobby Miller, a senior at 5'9", but 255. So the Beat Diggers have it with 9:52 to go, 2nd quarter, no score. I mean, I did expect Brush to score here in the opening half. I thought they'd score in the opening quarter.
Yeah, we're going to score on this drive right here.
But
that was a weird roll. You don't see that happen. It was more of a barrel roll. The ball didn't bounce end over end.
Well, let's see if Jaron Peterson can break one off here. 1st and 10 with 3 backs next to each other at the 30. Under center is Mount. And here is a bootleg left, but Fort Lupton not fooled, and Mount is thrown for a loss back to the 27. A loss of 3. And looked like Adame and 2 others were in there along with Suarez to make the play.
Again, for that bootleg to work, your end or your tackle has to control that defensive end, and we're just not doing it.
2nd down and 13 for the 27. Mount turns, hands it off to Peterson, running left to the 30. He's got a seam across the left sideline to the 40. Peterson to the secondary, cuts it back inside across the 50 to the 47 for Jaron Peterson. That's a gain of 26 and a Brush Beat Digger 1st down.
All right, so we're creeping up there a little bit more and more. It's 62 yards now.
So Jaron Peterson needs 91 more for 1,000 this season. Still got 9:08 to go, 2nd quarter. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at the Blue Devil 47. Peterson once again is the deep back. This will be a handoff to Lopez off left tackle, and he's across the 45 and tackled maybe at the 44. Gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 to go for the Beat Diggers. Right back up to the line of scrimmage. As running off the field, there's Anthony Salas there for Fort Lupton. Now let's see if they give it to Peterson. 2 plays after that 26-yard run. They do. Running left side. Peterson across the 40. Running hard to the 39 for Jaron Peterson. And getting up slowly. Is that Peterson getting up slowly? Let's see. Down to the 38. It's a gain of 6.
He's not getting up.
Yep. That's what we said. That Peterson would go over. He'd go over the 153 mark if he stayed healthy, but unless that's a cramp, it looks like he's wincing out there in pain. Again, the gain of 6, it would be a 3rd down and 2. Man, would this be the story of the season, Dave? To have maybe your best player hurt, looking to rack up 1,000 yards, and there's a Fort Lupton coach out there as well.
Well, he was kicking his foot there a little bit, so you know it wasn't his right leg.
8:12 to go, second quarter, and Jaron Peterson, after being tackled, is being treated for an injury out there. And if that's a legitimate injury, that might be it for the game and for the season. He is a senior. While they attend to Jaron Peterson, let's take a break. No score between Brush and Fort Lupton. Well, they're going to get him up, so let's keep it right here. And let's see if he can walk off under his own power. Maybe he just got no. He's going to be assisted off.
Yep.
Without putting any weight on one of those legs. Yeah. Is that even Peter? That's not even Peterson. No, it's not
that's
Peterson.
Mount.
No, is that Lopez?
No, that's Lopez.
Well, he wasn't even the ball carrier.
Yep.
Okay, that was odd, Dave. Well, we apologize. Yeah. I thought from here it was Peterson, but it was Lopez.
Brings up 3rd down for Brush.
That's rare that a running back gets hurt on a play when he hasn't carried the football. Well, we hope that Peterson certainly, or that Lopez feels better. So we apologize for that. 3rd down and 2 to go. Peterson is the deep back. Peterson gets the handoff right side. 1st down, right at the stick, but I think he's got it at the 36, a gain of 2. Is that me, Dave, or did you think that was Peterson too?
Yeah, I thought it was Peterson the whole time, and then when he stood up, I saw the top of the number. It looked like our number 6, but it wasn't.
Yep, it was Adrian Lopez who was hurt, but I don't think I've ever seen that, where a running back gets hurt on a play that he didn't carry the ball on.
Well, we use our running backs to lead block.
Right.
So
he got rolled up.
Tackled into.
Yeah, he got rolled up. There's no doubt about it. 1st down and 10 for Brush at the Fort Lupton 36-yard line. Again, Peterson is the deep back. Trent Mount hands it off to Peterson, up the gut to the 35. He's into the secondary, a 1st down, carrying defenders. He fumbles the ball, though. The Bee Diggers might have it back at the 22. He fumbled it backwards, and the Bee Diggers were able to recover it. And it was recovered. We will give Peterson a 13-yard gain to the 23. Dave, he's got to hold on to that football. That's still been an issue later on in the season for Peterson.
Yeah, we're running in that unbalanced right side, and Fort Lupton didn't make any adjustments. Just a huge hole, but Peterson's got to know people are coming from behind, and that's what happened to him. He's running, and people are coming behind, stripping the ball. 1st
and 10 for the Bee Diggers at the Fort Lupton 23-yard line. This drive started in Bee Digger territory at the 30. Mount hands it off to Peterson, stutter-stepping, running right. He's got maybe a yard or 2 towards the 21. And now they'll give him a yard to the 22. 2nd down and 9 to go. Dave, what's the total right now for Peterson?
He's at 84 yards, so just over the halfway mark.
69 needed for Peterson to reach 1,000. Yeah, I'd predicted 200 in this game. And, of course, he's had so many carries at this point. But he doesn't get tired. I mean, he had 4 consecutive carries on one drive. 2nd down and 9 for the Bee Diggers at the 22-yard line of the Blue Devils. Awaiting the snap is Mount. Mount turns, pitches to Peterson, stutter-stepping, back to his left, and he backs his way to about the 20. I think he wanted to take it to the outside, but that was plugged up. Let's give him 2 yards. 3rd down and 7 to go for Brush with the nose of the football at the 20-yard line. Dave, I was trying to spot who was back in there for the Bee Diggers with Wellen and Peterson in the backfield.
That was Morales.
And Morales is now exiting the field back towards the Bee Diggers sideline. 5:45 to go, second quarter. No score. Fort Lupton has turned it over twice. The Bee Diggers have one turnover in the game. 3rd and 7 from the 20-yard line. Certainly 4-down territory. Mounts is out of the gun. Trips to the right. Peterson, 2 mounts right. And he's going to roll that way, looking to throw. Mount throwing it towards the end zone. The pass is going to be dropped. Wide open in that front corner of the end zone. And the ball was dropped by Queen. That was an excellent throw by Trent Mount, Dave. Couldn't have been any better.
So that's 2 passes that have just hit our guys right on the number, and our guys weren't able to catch it. And it's kind of indicative of what's happened the whole season.
Yeah, man, he ran an excellent pattern, but obviously completing the process, especially for Queen, who's got good hands, had a nice touchdown catch from 43 yards last week. Now the Bee Diggers will go for it on 4th down and 7 to go for the Fort Lupton 20. Dunker is the receiver to the left, trips to the right. The lone setback is Jaron Peterson. Trent Mount out of the gun. Awaits a snap, back to throw, setting up a screen. He'll take off with the football at the 20, running to his left inside the 20. That is going to be hammered short of the first down. Peterson was well covered on that screen, couldn't throw it to him. It's a gain of 2, and Fort Lupton takes over on downs.
Yep, just got right back down there in that red zone or near red zone area where the Achilles heel's been all year. It goes right back to that drop pass, and we've just had that.
1st and 10, Fort Lupton. They'll mark it officially at the 17. Well, the Blue Devils had a chance to score. Jade Queen came up with an interception, and the Bee Diggers had their chance there, and they were stymied in the red zone. Receiver split to the left and right, out of the gun. Vargas on 1st down. Quick drop, throws over the middle. The pass is incomplete. It's dropped at the 30-yard line, and that was a perfect pass thrown to Freddie Suarez, but he didn't look it in. It'll be 2nd down and 10. That would have been a gain of at least 13 to 15 yards, if not more.
Oh, yeah, and he's a big dude, man. Freddie Suarez is 5'9", but he's 200 pounds. He looks a little bit taller than that. And he would be a load to try to tackle.
2nd down and 10 to go for the Blue Devils. By the way, we haven't seen the scoreboard. We haven't been here in a couple of years. That is a gorgeous scoreboard. I mean, that is a top-notch. 2nd down and 10, out of the gun. Vargas, option left, takes off with the football. A big seam, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, across the 25, close to a 1st down. He is so slippery and slithery. It's a gain of 11 for the quarterback, Elijah Vargas. 1st and 10 for Fort Lupton as we've hit the 5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Yeah, again, just over pursuing the guy. They're going to have to give him a little bit of a cushion and break down and wait for him to make his move before they go for him, because as soon as they make their move, he cuts back.
1st down, 10 yards to go for Fort Lupton at their own 28-yard line. One receiver to the left, one to the right, backs are in an eye. There's the pitch right to Torres, swings it to the outside with a seam. He's across the 35 to the 39, but there's a flag down. This has got to be coming back. I think there was either a hold or a block in the back against the Blue Devils, thus eliminating a pretty hefty gain there, and it will be holding against Fort Lupton.
Caught a break there. Fort Lupton's had a lot of success running the ball to the outside, just catching us with their speed.
You know, and you sense, Dave, that because of the athleticism back there, they've got a big play in them.
Oh yeah, they could break something loose. They're quick. We don't have anybody that can match their speed.
All right, they're going to mark this back to the 14. So that's going to end up being a 14-yard penalty. 1st down and 24 for Fort Lupton. Let's see if they might keep this on the ground. They don't have to pick up all this yardage, obviously, in one play. From the 14, out of the gun. No, Vargas looking to throw. Throws it out to his right. The pass is caught underneath and breaking a tackle across the 25 to the 29. That is Torres. Again, the 20, a gain of 14. So a 1st and 24 now becomes a 2nd and about 10.
Yeah, they've thrown 3 for 7, total of 34 yards, but
and pretty effectively.
Yeah, they throw those slants. Our corner's giving them about 5 yards cushion, and they just come out and plant their foot right in front of us and make their move towards our free safety.
2nd down and 10 for Fort Lupton at their own 28-yard line. 3:50 to go, second quarter. No score. Out of the gun, Vargas pitches left to Torres, swings it back to the inside. It's got a seam, but then the Beat Diggers stop him right there, and that's because of the penetration of Ryan Dunker, then cleaned up by Jade Queen at about the 31. So it's a gain of 3 for Torres. 3rd down and 7 to go for Fort Lupton. And now, why are they stopping the clock, Dave? Oh, I guess a timeout. Go ahead.
I was going to say that takes Torres up to 17 yards, and it seems like he'd have a lot more than that, but a lot of his running's been north and south. And I say that because this field runs east and west. It's a different looking field. Most fields are north-south fields.
Yep. That's a second timeout taken by Fort Lupton. The Beat Diggers have 2 remaining. The board has 3 for each, but that should be 2 for Brush, 1 left for Fort Lupton. It'll be 3rd down and 7 when play resumes. B&J Plumbing can handle all your plumbing needs, from clogged drains to a major construction project. They're at 522-3828. How about Brush Grocery Card? Groceries, fresh cut meat and deli items, floral, pharmacy, Western Union, public service payments, 24-hour gas. Brush Grocery Cart, your one-stop shop, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. Dave, by the way, you mentioned with the cross-country meets this weekend. We'll be discussing that on Monday. All those results on 1010 Preps and More, airing from 1 to 2 right here on KSIR and KSIR.com for all of the classifications for the boys and girls. Coming up this weekend, 3rd down and 7. That'll be on Monday's show once again. 3rd and 7 from the 31. Elijah Vargas in a shotgun. Receivers split each side. Backs in an eye. The deep back is Torres. Has the football. The pitch right to Torres. He gets around Guzman, or tries, and Guzman's got him, and he throws him down. Andrew Guzman making another excellent play back to the 21. I mean, he threw the previous guy, Gavin Case, for a loss of 17, and that's going to be a loss of 8 back to the 23.
Yeah, that just showed some athleticism from his defensive end. He's such a big guy, and he had enough speed to keep him from getting to the corner. That dropped him back down to 11 yards for Torres.
4th down and 15. Bobby Miller to punt. Trent Mount is deep for Brush. Let's see if the Beat Diggers can score before the end of the opening half with 2:48 to go in a scoreless game. Pressure coming up the middle. It's going to be a high short kick, bouncing at the 48 to Fort Lupton, taking a Blue Devil roll in Beat Digger territory down at the 46. So a punt of 31 yards, and Brush has probably their best field position of the game to start a drive.
Yep, we got to take advantage of this now. Can't stub our toe down there in that red zone.
1st and 10 at the 46. Jaron Peterson is approaching 100 yards here in the opening half.
He's got 86.
First and 10 for Brush. Trips to the right, lining up on the short side of the field. In a gun is Cade Urich. Awaits a snap. Hands off to Peterson, left side. Tries to break out of a tackle, but is going to be thrown down after a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9 at the 47. Dave, I still sense he's going to have a huge run. He had a 32-yarder against Valley. I believe 35 against Eaton. Well, sorry about that. 2 yards, Dave. I have to be as accurate as possible with Peterson, considering what's on the line tonight. With a 1,000-yard season, if he picks up a total of 153, he had 847 going into the game. Under 2 minutes to go in the opening half. 2nd down and 8 for the Beat Diggers. With a football just shy of the 48. Urich back to throw. Heaves it up the left side. That's going to be over the receiver's hands and head out of bounds. Trenton Mounts. That really had no shot. 3rd down and 8.
Yep, we had good pass coverage. Didn't have a lot of pressure there. Urich did a good job of getting the ball up in the air over the top, but just overthrew him.
Yeah, it's tough to watch those plays, Dave, when there's no shot of the pass being completed. But, I mean, we've seen that, and hopefully these are issues, especially when you have underclassmen involved on either end, by the way. It's not just one player. It could be on either end, and then you saw that for next season. 3rd down, and now Mounts is the quarterback. 3rd and 8 for the 48. Two-step drop, throwing out to his right, incomplete. That was well covered. Jay Queen was the intended receiver at the 46, but Fort Lupton was there to meet him. And the Blue Devils have been fulfilling their assignments here in the first half, which is why we have a scoreless game.
Right, yeah, their corners are playing right up on our receivers. They're not giving them much of a cushion at all, and that didn't fool anybody as they were playing man-to-man.
It'll be 4th down, and the Bead Diggers to punt with a Badka at their own 48-yard line.
Looks like Fort Lupton's going to send 8 guys. They're going to attack, try to block this thing.
You're right. They've only got, they got now 4 off the line of scrimmage. Perfect snap. Badka gets it off, and that's a gorgeous punt. And it's going to go over Torres' head and take a huge roll towards the goal line. And the Bead Diggers down it, I believe, at the 1. They might have downed that thing at the 1-yard line, and they did, with 1:33 to go in the opening half. So that punt with the roll went for 51 yards.
Yeah, they went for the block. They just about did, too. They almost had a hand on it, and Albarca just did a really good job of keeping his eye on the ball and making good contact.
1st and 10 for Fort Lupton at their own 1-yard line. Dave, this gets a little bit scary because you can either break off a huge play or the Bead Diggers can pick up a safety here. With Vargas out of the gun, the deep back is Jalen Torres. Vargas hands it off to Torres off the left side. He's hit right at the goal line, and a timeout for Brush. He got back to the 1. Bead Diggers called their second timeout with 1:24 to go. 2nd down and 10, and you're right, they've been neutralizing Torres the entire first half.
Yeah, they had him that time. They tried to run in between the center and their left guard, but one of our kids stuck his arm out and kind of clotheslined him.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few of those tackles, but, I mean, there's no doubt 2 of the biggest plays made by Andrew Guzman. Yeah. On 2 plays, he threw a Fort Lupton offender for a total of 25-yard losses.
Yep. And you got to expect those arm tackles when you're playing against such fast players.
Oh, absolutely. And shifty, man. I mean, real shifty. Sometimes you're so shifty, Dave, you notice that you run yourself into a tackle.
Yeah.
As opposed to out of one.
Yeah, and we've had that happen against us as well with our own players. But they definitely have a lot of team speed, and we're going to have to watch that big tight end.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Fort Lupton at their own 1-yard line. 1:24 to go in the opening half. Neither team has scored. Let's see what the Blue Devils try to pull out here. Yeah, running up the middle has not helped Fort Lupton. As you mentioned, to the outside has helped a little bit more. Torres about 5 yards deep into the end zone as he is the deep back. Vargas out of the gun. He's a couple of yards into the end zone. Hard count. And I believe, is he going to call a timeout? Yep, I think Fort Lupton called their final timeout. Let's take it with them. 1:24 to go, 2nd quarter. It's Fort Lupton nothing, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 2nd down and 10 for the Blue Devils out of the timeout at their own 1-yard line. Fort Lupton has used up all their timeouts. The Bead Diggers still have 1. Elijah Vargas in the gun. Has the football, looking, throwing. The slant is complete over the middle to about the 10-yard line and close to a 1st down. And was the ball fumbled and recovered? No, they're going to say it was down. I think that was Case. Yeah, it was. At the 10-yard line, it'll be a gain of 9, Dave. 3rd down and a yard to go. Excellent pass play there from Vargas to Case. And they'll keep the clock rolling. If Fort Lupton picks up the 1st down, more than likely it's a scoreless first half. If the Bead Diggers stop them, they'll call their final timeout.
Nope. 3rd and a yard.
Yeah, they're so deep down there in their own territory, they may not even do that.
Well, they've got to run a play. There's no question about it. And
they get the ball, after the half.
Yep. 3rd down and a yard to go. 45 seconds to go in the quarter. Out of the gun, Vargas. Option right. Pitches right to Torres. He's got a 1st down across the 10 to about the 14. Clock will stop for the movement of the chains. A gain of 4. And at this point, a simple handoff and see what happens.
But like you said, they're so fast and shifty. And they're one tackle away from busting one loose.
1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Yeah, they'll have one more play unless it's a defensive penalty. But Jaron Peterson's had a nice half from the rushing standpoint. More than halfway to 153, which he needs for 1,000 on the season. Out of the gun, 9 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 14. Back to throw, Vargas looking. He'll take off up the middle of the football towards the sideline at the 20. He's going to be tackled from behind, go out of bounds as the clock runs out, but they should have stopped. There was some time left on the clock. Tackled at the 23-yard line. Be a gain of 9. Let's see if they put time back on the clock. Yeah, 2 seconds, looks like. Is that what they're asking for? A couple of seconds. So it's a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd down and 1 to go.
Yep, I'll tell you what, Brush is going to have to be ready and awake here. They've just got that speed, and if they can get the ball out to Torres in the open field, he could get off to the races pretty quick.
All right, 2nd and 1 to go from the 23, just 1 second to go. In a shotgun is Vargas. Awaits the snap, 5-step drop, rolls to his right, now sets up, heaves it up the right side. That's going to be incomplete, and that's going to be the end of the opening half. The Beat Diggers and Fort Lupton Blue Devils are scoreless after 24 minutes. Right here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran back with Dave Uhrig at Fort Lupton High School. The Beat Diggers and Blue Devils about to begin the second half. We are scoreless. Dave, you and I have called many games for many years, and I don't recall even one game since you and I started together in 2003, or it was even close to scoreless. I mean, it's hard to go back in that memory bank.
Yeah, I can't. I'm thinking it. I can't think of any.
Yeah. And the Beat Diggers will kick it off with J.R. Puga. That might be Torres back deep to receive. He booms that football. It's going to be taken and dropped at the 5-yard line, running straight ahead. That could be Case across the 20 to about the 21, maybe the 22, and then still on his feet. I thought the ball was loose for a second because there were bodies flying. A return of about 17 yards. It's a heck of a kick by Puga, Dave.
That was a great kick. I'll tell you what, Case showed his strength there. Took a whole bunch of diggers to jump on his back to bring him down.
1st and 10 from the 21-yard line for Fort Lupton. Well, that clock rolled way too much. It shouldn't be at 11:42. That's not an 18-second kick, that's for sure. But nonetheless, that's what we got. 1st and 10. There's the option right for the quarterback, and boom, Vargas is nailed as he took off with a football, and the Beat Diggers didn't bite. Left side, strong side there. Andrew Guzman makes the hit, Dave, and that's a loss of 3, 2nd down, and about 13 to go.
Guzman is just controlling that side of the field. Fort Lupton can't run against him. He gets upfield, he's getting rid of his blocker, he's using his hands and making those tackles.
2nd down and 13 to go for Fort Lupton at their own 18-yard line. One receiver to the left, one to the right. Out of the gun, back to throw, Vargas rolling to his left, heaving it up the left side. Receivers out there. It's caught underneath at the 47-yard line. Back to the outside of the 45, inside the 40, down to the 39. That's a huge play to Luke Herron. Down all the way to the 39-yard line. It's a 43-yard pickup. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils on a ball that was underthrown.
Yeah, the Herron kid just made a play. He stopped and waited for the football, and our corner didn't quite know where the ball was. He overran it just a little bit. And then after Heron caught the ball, again, there was that shiftiness. They'd run a little bit, stop, cut back, go the other way, and just couldn't quite make the play.
1st and 10, Fort Lupton at the Bead Digger 39. Out of the gun. Handoff left side, Torres, and he fumbles. The ball is picked up. This is going to be a Bead Digger touchdown by Morales to the 20, the 15 to 10, 5 touchdown. Isaac Morales takes it about 53 yards, and the Bead Diggers have broken out on top at 6-0.
There's a little Denver Bronco defense for you. Diggers did a good job. They were trying to run it outside. They were running a quick pitch over here to the Fort Lupton sideline, trying to get around the corner where they've had a lot of luck tonight. And luckily for us, as we were tackling him, we were able to pull the ball out of his hand.
Can you believe it, Dave? That's the way the first points get scored from Isaac Morales on officially a 53-yard fumble return. The extra point is up, and that one by Puga is right down the middle. 10:18 to go, third quarter. The Bead Diggers have broken out on top. Brush 7, Fort Lupton nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bead Diggers with a 7-0 lead early in the third on a fumble return of about 53 yards there by Isaac Morales off the fumble by Torres. Short kick fielded at the 15-yard line, straight ahead to the 25, across the 25 to the 27. And I think that's Torres that time. And
on the return, number 2, Anthony Salas.
I'll check that. It's Anthony Salas. Well, let's see if the Bead Diggers can duplicate this on defense, Dave.
6-yard line where Blue Devils have it 1st and 10.
Well, we're going to have to just keep working on that containment. You know, they haven't hurt us up the middle. The guy that's killing us tonight's Vargas. He's got 36 yards rushing on 6 carries. He's able to take off with the football when we have coverage on the receivers. But he showed on that last pass that, you know, he's got pretty good touch on the ball and he can float it down the field.
1st and 10, Fort Lupton with a football at their own 27. Vargas out of the gun. Man in motion to the right is Torres. Low snap, and he hands it off to Torres across the right side to the 30. Then he's tackled at about the 31 for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 to go. Getting up off the bottom of the pile is Jade Queen. So a gain of 4 there.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd down.
Under 10 minutes to go in the third. Yeah, nobody was going to touch Morales. He was way out in front of the rest of the field once he picked up that football, and he was sprinting. He could have run 300 yards. They wouldn't have caught him. 2nd down and 6 to the 31. Out of the gun. Low snap. Back to throw. Pass is tipped down. It is knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Riggs 10. 3rd down.
Yeah, Riggs, he's playing that defensive end, or that tackle over there on that side. And right when he went to throw the ball, Riggs jumped up in the air and knocked it down like Wolf style.
Yeah, just batted down. It'll be 3rd and 6. Checking into the game for Fort Lupton is Luke Herron, who just had that big 43-yard catch moments ago. In fact, it was right before the fumble. 3rd and 6 from the 31. Vargas in the gun. 5-step drop. Rolls to his left. Heaves it up the left side. Wide open. It's incomplete. Oh, and now we got a flag. I wonder if Giovanni Garcia held up Jalen Torres. It could be interference, Dave.
Yeah, he bumped into him when he was down there, but, you know, he's having a hard time just playing the ball. He looked back and played it just a little bit too soon, and the ball ended up going about 5 yards down the field further than where Garcia stopped.
Well, they're going to call hold. He did hold him. So it essentially it's going to amount to a 1st down for Fort Lupton. And here's a strange thing, Dave. Just like that long completion, the defender has position for Brush, and then all of a sudden they get twisted around.
Yeah, just not, you know, the ball's in the air. And last time when the catch happened, the play, you know, we just didn't make a play on the ball, didn't look back as fast as the receiver did for the Blue Devils. On that play, we looked back too soon and stopped.
1st and 10, Fort Lupton at their own 41. Backs it an eye. Perfect snap, handoff to Torres. He's hit in the backfield and thrown for a 3-yard loss. Penetration by Jaron Peterson, then cleaned up by the rest of the defense. It'll be 2nd down and 13. Isaac Morales was able to make the hit after Peterson got tremendous penetration.
Torres finally got up to 17 yards on the night. That matched his total earlier in the game, and now he got thrown for a 3-yard loss again.
Problem here in the half, Dave, is that the Bee Diggers haven't had the ball yet. But they do lead 7-0 and a 53-yard fumble return by Morales. Out of the gun, 2nd and 13. Vargas, 5-step drop, looking. He's going to heave it up the right side. Defenders out there, and it is going to be, is that going to be caught? It is. Holy Mahungus, that must have been wrestled away at the 28-yard line. A Bee Digger was out there, but Heron makes the catch again. A gain of 34. Dave, what is going on there?
You know, actually, Trent Mount, he went up. He made the play. He actually had the interception. But
that's
when
what
he
I
came
thought.
Down, he just let Heron rip it out of his hands. Fort Lupton just out-muscled us.
1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. At the 28, let's see if they can get into the end zone. The Bee Diggers will have something to say about that, hopefully. Out of the gun. Vargas is going to pitch it left to Torres. Swings it back to the middle to 25, and he's down at the 24. Jade Queen made the hit, but it's a gain of close to 5. 2nd down and 5 to go for Fort Lupton on a drive that began at their own 27. Now they're at the Bee Digger 23.
Yep, that was a good thing. Jade Queen made that tackle there. Get out there. He has the speed to break those things loose. There's a lot of open field.
2nd down and 5 yards to go for the Blue Devils, trailing 7-0 off a 53-yard fumble return by Isaac Morales. Backs in an eye. Again in a shotgun. Vargas, option right. Will pitch it to Torres. Back towards the middle at the 20, down to the 19. He's short of a 1st down. It's a gain of 4. But Queen in on the hit. 3rd and 1 to go for Fort Lupton.
Yeah, that option was right there. We had 2 guys, Dunker, and also I don't know if that was Guzman, but 2 guys actually hit the quarterback just like they're supposed to, but we didn't have anybody out there to tackle the pitch man.
Just a yard to go for the Blue Devils. They're in the red zone, 3rd down and 1. The Bee Diggers have been pretty decent against the run tonight. It's a couple of pass plays that have hurt them. There's the pass. It's going to be incomplete on a slant over the middle intended for Case, but it was thrown well behind him and well over his head. And, Dave, I'm surprised by that call.
Yeah, you know, they're having some pretty good luck running the football, and, you know, they got the quick quarterback. I was kind of expecting them to either go on a long count or maybe a quarterback sneak up the middle.
Well, now it's 4th and 1 at the 19. Fort Lupton will go for it with 6:59 to go, 3rd quarter, trailing by a touchdown.
They've completed 6 of 13 passes for 120 yards tonight.
In the shotgun, Vargas with a long count is going to option right. There's the pitch to Torres. He's inside the 20, but he's going to be thrown down right there. He's short. I think he lost a yard, Dave, along the far sideline, and the Bee Diggers have stopped Fort Lupton. It's a loss of 1 officially as the tackle is made along the far sideline. Bee Diggers take over with tremendous defense.
Yeah, Blue Devils tried to run that same play, the same option. First time we didn't have anybody to tackle the pitch man, but that time we sure did.
All right. You know they got to get the ball to now. That would be Jaron Peterson.
Remember, he's got 88 yards so far.
So he needs 65 more for 1,000 this season. 1st and 10 at the 20. He is the deep back. Adrian Lopez was hurt earlier in this game, so Isaac Morales replaces him in the backfield. 1st down, handoff, Peterson, left side, a seam along the left side, still on his feet towards the 30. Looks like he's got a 1st down, Dave. Let's see if they spot it right there at the 30. And they'll give him the 31, give him 11. We'll give him that generous half yard. 1st and 10 at the 31. Peterson now approaching 100 for the game. Peterson, the deep back. The quarterback is Trent Mount. He's a senior along with Peterson. Under center, Mount hands off to Peterson. Breaks out of a tackle. Then he fumbles the ball. It was stripped and recovered by Fort Lupton at the 35. I mean, he was hit immediately, and the ball was fumbled forward. And Peterson has given it away. And again, that's the issue he's had the second half of the season, Dave.
Yep, he got to 99 yards. But like you said, just having a hard time holding on to the football. That time I saw, he had the ball in his right hand. Didn't have two hands on the football, just one. Fort Lupton kid reached out there and grabbed the nose of the ball and knocked it right out of there.
1st and 10 for the Blue Devils at the Beat Digger 35-yard line. Have a bevy of turnovers in this game, but the one that hurt the most was the fumble by Torres, resulting in a brush touchdown on a fumble return by Isaac Morales out of the gun. Vargas deep drop, pressure coming, rolls out of it, and then he's going to be hit and sacked, and there's a flag down. He's down at the 40-yard line. Well, that's either a hold against Fort Lupton or a face mask against Brush. Let's see what the signal is. It will be a hold against Fort Lupton. And they should decline that, Dave. You'd think after the loss of 6, a few Beat Diggers in on the play, they were all bunched up in the middle. Oh, can they take the penalty at the end of the play? I don't think I've ever seen this.
They're doing it.
Yeah, but that, well, I think what's happening here is that the holding took place where the tackle was made. So it's still going to be first down. So no 6-yard loss there. That's going to be a huge loss for Fort Lupton of 17 yards. It'll be first down and 27 at their own 48. Vargas pitches left to Torres, cuts it back towards the outside at the 50. He's got a seam across the 50 to the 46. And that was a clutch tackle there made by Jade Queen because he could have gone a long way. It's a gain of, we'll call it 7 to the 45. It'll be second down and about 20.
With all that work, that's taken him up to 30 yards now on 18 carries. But again, they're just putting a lot of pressure on our corners. They're running at him, and they're throwing deep on him.
Second down and 20 from the Beat Digger 45-yard line. In the gun, Vargas, deep drop, looks to throw, rolls to his right, pressure coming backside. Vargas throws the football on the run. The pass is going to be tipped and complete. That's an excellent defensive play. There was a receiver open, but it was Jaron Peterson, Dave, with his left hand who stuck it out and made the play and batted it away.
Yeah, that was a good job. He really had to extend himself to get up there to be able to make that tip. And on top of that, we're pretty lucky the momentum of the Blue Devil carried him out of bounds because he could have had a play on the ball with that tip.
Well, if they don't pick up a good 5 or 10 yards here, they could punt out of this because it's 3rd and 20 at the Beat Digger 45. Once again, 7-0 Brush on a 53-yard fumble return unofficially. I said officially earlier, but it's unofficial by Isaac Morales. 3rd and 20. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Vargas has the football. 3-step drop, throws, and the pass is caught underneath, but well short of a first down. Tackle was made by Trent Mount at the 37. I believe a gain of 13 on the play. Well, let's see if that's right, Dave. Check that, a gain of 8. Gain of 8. I did the math wrong there. It'll be 4th down and 12, and it looks like they're gonna punt out of this with Bobby Miller back to punt as Anthony Salas made that catch. Trent Mount is standing inside his 10-yard line, and now Fort Lupton calls a timeout. 5:19 to go in the third, and when you're down in a close game, Dave, you need those timeouts, so that could be advantage Brush a little bit later on in the game.
Yeah, you wonder if Fort Lupton's talking about maybe their own little fake punt since it's the last game of the season. But I'll tell you what, Mount, there's a lot of pressure on him here because he's, this is right in that punter's range where he can put the ball, down deep close to our goal line. Mount's got to catch the football.
Well, unless it goes behind him, then you just let it go. But
Yep.
You're right. He's almost better off being at about the 15-yard line because you can back up 2 or 3 steps. But if you're at the 10, you should tell yourself, do not back up 1 inch.
Yep.
Because if that ball goes over your head, first of all, you should run forward because if it takes a backwards hop, that could hit you right in the leg or something.
You never know how it's going to bounce. I just know this is a dangerous range for them right here.
All right, 4th down and 12 for the Beat Digger 37-yard line.
Most of the time, teams we go against, they go for it right here.
Yeah. Still got 12 yards to go. Maybe a fake here. We'll see the Bee Diggers fake. That's a perfect snap. Gets it off. High punt towards the sideline. Fielded by Peterson at the 9. Stutter stepping to the 15. Runs to his right. And then he's tackled and he corrals that football. And he's tackled shy of the 20 at the 19. That's where the Bee Diggers will have it. 5:05 to go in the third. Leading 7-0.
Great job by Peterson catching the ball. Fielding the ball and bringing it back up to the 20.
Where are we, Dave? 99, you mentioned with Peterson.
Yep.
Did fumble on his last carry. So he's 54 yards away from 1,000. One big carry will take him over the top. 1st and 10 for Brush at their own 19-yard line. Peterson is the deep setback. And there is the give to the up back across the left side to the 25-yard line. Gain of 6. That's Isaac Morales. Freddie Suarez made the tackle. 2nd down and 4. Cade Urich back in at quarterback.
Morales brings a different speed into the game.
He does, yeah.
He can accelerate fast.
On 2nd down and 4 from the 25. Let's see if Peterson gets it. He does, running left. Runs into a blocker, and then he's taken down after a gain of maybe a yard. Let's see if they give him the yard. Yeah, it'll be 3rd down and 3 to go. And now Peterson is at 100 yards.
Brings up 3rd down and 4 for Brush.
3rd down and a short 4 at the 26-yard line. Peterson has a 26-yard run in the game. On 3rd down, handoff, Peterson right side, back to the middle, 1st down. He's across the 30 to the 35. And Peterson has picked up 9 on the play, and now he's at 109.
Yep.
Fun part of the game.
Yeah, that offensive line's doing a great job. Again, Coach Call relying on that unbalanced look. And a lot of times when he runs unbalanced, he'll run to the strong side, but again, or to the weak side. But on that play, he went to the strong side.
The Bee Diggers score on this drive. They can take control of the game. 1st and 10, but they still have 65 yards to go to get into the end zone. Under center, Urich. Here comes pressure rolling to his right, throws off his back foot. The pass is incomplete and nearly intercepted at midfield. Jade Queen was the intended receiver, well defended by Hayden Fells. Only a sophomore, 2nd down and 10. That's a pass he should have thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, I think even if that Blue Devil would have caught it, he might have come down out of bounds anyway. But you're right, boy. There was a lot of pressure on him right there. And one of those you might just want to throw away.
2nd down and 10 at the 35. 3:24 to go in the third. The Bee Diggers hold a 7-0 lead. Hand off to Peterson. Stutter step, spins across the 35 to the 40. Has a seam up the right sideline to the 50. Peterson then runs out of bounds in Fort Lupton territory at about the 42. Let's see exactly where they give him. It'll be a gain of 22 to the 43-yard line. All right, Dave, what's 131 now?
Yep, we're at 131. Peterson did a lot there. That was really on him. Not a lot of running room. Fort Lupton had was in a 5-2 or a 5-3, and they had a twist going on where they swapped their left tackle for their nose guard and ran right into Peterson, but he ran past it and cut it back.
1st and 10 for Brush at the Fort Lupton 43. In the backfield, Morales, Wellen, and Jaron Peterson. Handoff, Peterson off left tackle, Stutter stepping back to the middle, and he's close to a 1st down across the 40 to the 35. It'll be a gain of 8 for Jaron Peterson. And now he's sitting at 139, 14 shy of 1,000.
Yep, again on that play, the offensive line doing a really good job of blocking, and Fort Lupton brought another guy up on the line. So they had 6 guys up there. They tried to have their defensive end on this side catch him from behind.
2nd down and 2 from the 35. Under center, Urich. Pitch left to Peterson. Runs off left tackle. 1st down. He carries defenders inside the 30 towards the 25. And let's see exactly if they give him the 25 or the 26. They'll give him the 26, a gain of 9. All right, so up to 148. 5 yards shy, Dave.
This could be the carry right here. Fort Lupton, boy, they're stacking the box. They've got 6 guys up there, 3 linebackers. A lot of people to block.
Yeah, well, that's why Peterson, as you mentioned, had to do it on his own a couple of carries ago. First down and 10 for Brush at the 26 of Fort Lupton. Handoff right side to Mount, and he's swallowed up in the backfield, running laterally to his right. And Jalen Torres made the hit at the 30, a loss of 4. Second down and 14, and you just mentioned it, Dave. Tough to block everybody. Didn't happen there.
Yeah, and they had all 11 guys up there within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And that makes it tough when you only got 7 blockers.
A minute 42 to go in the third. Quick moving game here, and the Beat Diggers lead 7-0 on an unofficial 53-yard fumble return. The return is official, just the yardage. Trips to the right. Peterson in motion to the left. 2nd and 14. Back to throw. Urick sets up a screen over the middle. It's caught underneath there by Mount. Mount into the secondary across the 20 towards the 15-yard line. He's going to be close to a first down. In fact, I think he's going to have it at the 15-yard line. A gain of 15, a well-designed play for the Speed Diggers.
Brush has done a great job with their screens all season. There was one set up perfectly. The defensive linemen for Fort Lupton weren't disciplined. They were released by our offensive linemen. They didn't stay home, and Brush took advantage of it.
First and 10 for the Beat Diggers at the 15-yard line of the Blue Devils. Peterson is to Urick's left. He's in a shotgun. Awaiting snap. Peterson has it running off right tackle, and he's inside the 10 towards the 9-yard line. That should be enough for 1,000 this season for Jaron Peterson. As Peterson picks up 6 yards in the play. That's 1,001 for the season for Jaron Peterson.
Yep, 154 yards tonight. And again, some really good blocking over here on the right side. He's running behind Stegner, and you forget to mention Jeffrey Dunker, who's out there doing a lot of blocking as a tight end.
This might be the final play of the third. Under center, Urick, 2nd and 4th and 9. Handoff, Peterson off left tackle, back to the middle. He's got a first down. He backs his way inside the 5 to about the 4. Maybe the 3. Let's wait for the official spot with 16.6 seconds to go. We'll say the 4. Gain of 5 for Jaron Peterson on this lengthy drive for the Beat Diggers. Well, they're back up to the line of scrimmage. I think they want to score before the third quarter clock expires. First and goal at the 4. Urick, handoff, Peterson. He backs his way, but not into the end zone. He gets to about the 2, maybe the 1. And that'll be the end of the quarter. We'll give him the 2 from here. With the score, Brush 7, Fort Lupton nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran back with Dave Urick. Let's head to the fourth quarter in Fort Lupton. The Beat Diggers lead the Blue Devils by a 7-0 score. Isaac Morales picked up a fumble and went about 53 yards for the score. And Brush now has it. 2nd down and goal at the 2. Jaron Peterson has eclipsed 1,000 yards for the season. I think he's only scored 5 touchdowns this year. And one of those was on defense against Weld Central. In the backfield are Morales, Wellen, and Peterson. Cade Urick is the Brush quarterback. Under center. 2nd and goal from the 2. Pitch to Peterson, running left, and he's into the end zone as he skips over the goal line, and the Beat Diggers now lead 13-0 in the opening seconds of the fourth quarter.
So again, running left. That time they ran right behind their 2 tight ends, Ryan Dunker and Jade Queen. Those guys were out there, and they stepped up to the line of scrimmage, and they all pointed at who they were going to block. Fort Lupton knew it was coming, and Brush just handled it and ran it right at him.
Now to attempt the extra point is Puga, and that kick is up, and he might have hooked it left. Oh, no, just inside the left upright. 11:54 to go in the game. The Beat Diggers with a 14-0 lead over the Blue Devils after an 11-play, 81-yard drive right here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bee Diggers have a 14-0 lead after a 2-yard touchdown run from Jaron Peterson. That was a nice drive for Brush, 81 yards, as I mentioned. There's the kickoff by Puga, fielded at the 10 by Case. Stutter stepping to the 25, then he's swallowed up there. Out there for the Bee Diggers, Ricky Mendez and Jeffrey Dunker to make the big hit.
Yeah, you and I are doing the same thing. Ryan Dunker down there making some huge, great plays. He's been consistent all season. But Puga, again, you know, those guys, he's only 5 yards away from the ball when he takes a run at it to kick it, and he puts it all the way down there. He's turning out to be a great kicker.
Yeah, oh, no doubt about that. 1st and 10 for Fort Lupton at their own 25-yard line. They've got 2 timeouts remaining, and, of course, virtually the entire quarter. Elijah Vargas in the gun. Low snap, option right. Will pitch it to Torres. He bobbles, and then he's going to be tackled right there at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard. And then coming over from the secondary, let's see who made that tackle for Brush. I lost vision with that uniform number there, and I think that was Morales. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 for the 26.
So he only has 31 yards on 19 carries. Stegner's getting a huge push on their center. He's lining up that nose guard position, just shoving their center 2 yards deep.
2nd and 9 for the 26. Vargas in the shotgun. He is going to roll to his left, setting up, heaving it up the left side. Defenders out there, and it's still caught inside the 50 to the 45, trying to break a tackle. A Bee Digger holding on in Garcia, and down at the 36-yard line. It has happened again. Let's see if that's Case, and it is Case. Wow. I mean, that's happened already a couple of times in the game where the coverage is excellent, but the play is not made. It's a gain of 38 yards, and it's 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Hey, it's amazing. All these look like jump balls, and they're all in Fort Lupton's favor, regardless of the receiver's size.
Right, we're just not making a play on the ball. After they have the ball, we're trying really hard to strip it, not trying so hard to tackle.
1st and 10 at the 36. Vargas rolling to his right. Now rolling, now taking off of the football. Has a seam to the 30-yard line. Up the left sideline to the 25. Then he's going to run out of bounds. That's a 1st down inside the 20 towards the 19 for Elijah Vargas. Some nifty running by the Fort Lupton quarterback. It's a gain of 17. Watch out, Dave. This game is not over.
Yeah, he's got 53 yards on 7 carries. And like you keep saying how shifty he is, he just set everything up. He dropped back. You know, he wanted to throw the football, but I think deep down inside he wanted to run it because he got all the defenders drifting over to this side of the field, and then he cut it back and ran it clear to the other side.
1st and 10, Fort Lupton, 10:20 to go in the game at the Bee Digger 19. Brush leads 14-0 in the gun. Back to throw, Vargas over the middle. The pass is going to be broken up beautifully by Jordan Taylor at the goal line. If not, that would have been a touchdown for Fort Lupton as the tight end was out there, but Taylor broke it up at the last second.
Yeah, well, that's what we need, somebody making a play on the ball. Good job to Taylor reaching out there and knocking it down.
It's amazing, Dave. The Bee Diggers have bent tonight, but they haven't broken, not once.
You can tell Fort Lupton suffers from the same troubles that we have when they're down in the red zone.
Yeah, just cannot put it in the end zone, but they've got opportunities here. 2nd down and 10 for the 19. Again, Vargas to throw over the middle. Incomplete, tip by Wellen. And that tip almost proved to be a disaster for Brush because it was nearly tipped into the hands of a Blue Devil in Gavin Case. But it's 3rd down. And, Dave, I'm still surprised that on 2 consecutive plays, the Blue Devils have thrown the football.
I have to agree. You know, it seems like they have pretty good luck spreading everybody out and just letting Vargas run with it.
3rd and 10 for the 19. Well, they might do that here. You could see a quarterback draw or something similar to that because he's a tremendous athlete. Receivers out to the left and right. Again in a shotgun. Vargas back to throw. Pressure coming up the middle. Heaves it up the right side, and Mount is going to pick it off. Trent Mount with one hand picks it off near the back of the end zone, and the Bee Diggers will take over at their own 20-yard line. That is the 4th turnover for Fort Lupton tonight.
Well, we'll take it. Good job to Mount making a play on the ball and taking it away from him, not giving him one more chance to to put it in the end zone.
Dave, a shot here for Jaron Peterson to break 200 yards.
Well, he's getting pretty close. He's already got 163 yards on 28 carries.
Just take care of the football at this point. Peterson went for 176 last week. 1st and 10 at the 20. We got 10:04 to go in the game. The B-Diggers, I'm sure, will eat some clock now. Cade Urich is under center. Coming on a blitz. Handoff to Peterson off right tackle. He's across the 25 to the 30, still on his feet. Stutter stepping to the 35, and he's spinning to the 40-yard line. A gain of 20 for Jaron Peterson, a first down, as Andrew Adame made the tackle for Fort Lupton.
Gives him his best game of the season, 183 yards. Good job to Jaron, and good job blocking out there. That offensive line's making some big holes. They get credit.
Well, the blitz came for the other side, and B-Diggers called the right play there. On 1st and 10 from the 40, the clock has got to re-roll there. It's still stuck at 9:54. The official calling for the restarting of the clock, and we still don't have it out there. From the 40, there's the give right up the middle, across the 45 to the 47. That is Nick Wellen for a gain of 7. 2nd down and 3 to go for the B-Diggers.
Quick hitter, Nick. He's the one that's closest to the quarterback. Right behind him, usually lead blocker. They handed it to him, and Lupton wasn't ready yet.
Rush in no hurry to get off their next play. As we are 2nd down and 3 to go for the 47-yard line. Once again, Urich hands off right side. That's a first down to Morales. He's into Fort Lupton territory across the 50 to the 45, but Bigger call for a hold more than likely.
Yeah, it looked like one of the Fort Lupton kids actually got spun around out there. It looked like somebody held on to him and actually tried to throw him down. Pretty obvious. Happened behind the play. You mentioned that a lot. You know, a lot of those holding plays aren't necessary, and that was a good example of that.
All right, so this one is coming back. Stopping the clock with 9:09 to go in the game. So instead of a 1st and 10, the B-Diggers will face a 2nd and long, officially a 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. 53-yard fumble return there by Isaac Morales in the 3rd, and then Jaron Peterson's 2-yard run. 2nd and 10 for the B-Diggers. And now out of the spread. Mount in the gun. He's thrown a couple of nice passes in this game. They just have not been completed. Back to throw. He's going to take off with the football. Stutter stepping, running back to his right. And he's got a couple of yards. That's about it to the 42. Very disciplined defense there for Fort Lupton. It'll be 3rd down and 8 to go. Bobby Miller made the initial hit for the Blue Devils.
That was one of those plays where Mount, you know, if he keeps running left, he might get 3 or 4 yards. But he cuts back and he still gets only 3 or 4 yards. But like you said, it's because Fort Lupton had a couple of defenders there that just stood there and waited for him.
3rd down and 8 for the 42. Under center. Urich hands off to Peterson, running right across the 45, and he's down at the 47. It's a gain of 5, 4th and 3. Final game of the season. I wonder what you do at this point.
188 yards for Peterson. I think you give it to him and see if he can make it to 200.
Yeah, you got 8 minutes to go. I mean, neither team is going to the playoffs. Might as well have fun with this. Well, it's his 3rd down. Okay, I thought I had 4th down here. Nope. Saying 3rd down. I think I missed one, Dave. 3rd down and 3 from the 47. There is the handoff right side. That's a first down. That's not Peterson that time. I think that's Morales. And it is into Fort Lupton territory at the 44. It's a gain of 9 for Isaac Morales.
He's just so quick, man. He accelerates fast. When he gets the ball, he's at full speed, lickety split. Took advantage of the Blue Devils because they were on their heels. They weren't used to that.
As Dave mentioned, Peterson at 188. 1st and 10. Peterson is the deep back. It's at the 44-yard line. He's over 1,000 for the season. Awaiting the snap. There's the handoff to the up man, and he's got a big hole right up the middle. Close to about 8 yards at the 37, maybe not quite. It's a gain of 7. That was one of those quick hitters. As Elijah Vargas makes the hit, 2nd down and 3 to go for Brush. Now the Bee Diggers are playing the type of football they've been capable of all season and throughout this game.
Yeah, but we're right down there in that place on the field where our offense usually starts to stutter.
2nd down and 3 from the 37. Urick hands it off to Morales. He breaks a tackle, and then he's tackled at the 35. There's a flag down. He might have been grabbed around the face mask, or was there a hold?
I don't know. It looked like one of our offensive linemen reached out and grabbed the leg of one of the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. So we'll have to see what the official saw.
Yeah, it's either a gain of 2. No, it is a face mask.
Yep.
So that's a 5-yard face mask, a 1st down for Brush. The football will be placed at the 30-yard line. 6:48 to go in the game. The Bee Diggers lead 14-0 on a 53-yard fumble return in the 3rd after a scoreless first half by Isaac Morales and a 2-yard run by Jaron Peterson, who unofficially has 1,035 yards on the season rushing, including about 360 in the last 2 weeks. I mean, he's really picked it up here on the road. 1st and 10 for the Bee Diggers at the 30. Peterson is the deep back. 12 shy of 200. Handoff to Peterson, stutter stepping. Then he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage at the 31, down to 187 now.
Number 28 coming through, number 79, Riley.
We try to line up that unbalanced look. Had Queen and Dunker over here.
Yeah, give him a 2-yard loss there, so he's back to 186. 2nd down, and he had nowhere to run, really, unless he went to the outside, and maybe that would have been a challenge as well.
A lot of times, Jaron will get up there in the hole, be plugged, and he'll bounce it to the outside, but Fort Lupton just kept gaining ground, and they were able to grab a hold of him before he could get it out there.
2nd down and 12 from the 32 in Fort Lupton territory. Urick is going to hand it off right up the gut to Wellen, and he lunges his way for 3 inside the 30 to the 29 before he was tackled around the ankles. It'll be 3rd down and 9 to go for Brush. This will be the 10th play of the drive, and the Bee Diggers have chewed up nearly 4.5 minutes on this drive.
Wellen's up to 18 yards on 3 carries after that quick trap.
Yeah, those plays develop like this. And let's see if Brush calls a timeout. By the way, that 53-yard fumble return by Morales brought to you by Western Engineering Consultants. They provide civil engineering for aviation, those services for aviation, municipal, commercial, and residential clients in Colorado. They assist their clients through the planning reviews and construction processes in order for them to attain the appropriate entitlements and to build their projects. Western Engineering Consultants. Bee Diggers take a timeout, 5:09 to go in the 4th. Brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Brush will have a 3rd down and 9 at the Fort Lupton 29. Up 14-0. David, it'll be nice to walk away with a victory for Brush. It's been since Saturday, September 10th, when they beat Lamar 34-0. That seemed like a year and a half ago.
It does. It's hard to even remember, but all along the way, look at all the games we were in. You look at the loss in overtime to Eaton, point to Valley, look at the Sterling game, which was a big spread, but it was close there for a while. We haven't really been out of too many games other than Fort Morgan this year.
Well, they were going for the go-ahead touchdown in the 3rd against Weld Central, but 3 fumbles in the second half killed Brush there, and they lost by 14. All right, so here we go. 3rd and 9 off the timeout. At the 29. In the backfield, Wellen and Peterson. In motion to the right is Trent Mount. Urick is back to throw. Heaves it up the right side. Mount is out there. Is it caught for a touchdown? It is caught. Yes, there's a touchdown. 29 yards away. Mount was just in bounds, and the Bee Diggers now lead 20-0.
Well, it was just about a perfect throw. Urick put a lot of air underneath of it and just allowed Mount to run down there and run underneath the ball and right on the sideline. It was over his outside shoulder. Even if the coverage would have been good, it would have been hard for that corner to make a play on it.
Yeah, the officials had to convene because the only question was whether he had 1 foot in bounds. And apparently he did. The extra point by Puga is partially blocked, and then it hit off the crossbar. So it's no good. 5 minutes to go in the game. Brush 20, Fort Lupton nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Well, the Beat Diggers took it down the field as Brush went, let's see, 87 yards in a drive. If I have that correct. Yep. Nope. 80 yards in a drive. In 5 minutes and 4 seconds, Trent Mount, 29-yard touchdown catch. Cade Urick with the touchdown pass. There's the kickoff to Torres. Stutter stepping to the 20, back to the outside. Then he's going to be held up at the 25. Tackled by Isaac De Herrera, a junior.
On the return, number 2, Anthony Salas.
Check that. That's Salas on the return. Fort Lupton will have it right there with the Beat Diggers in firm control of this game, Dave.
Yep. De Herrera did a good job. He broke down, made Salas make his move, and then he bear hugged him and kind of souplayed him to the ground.
First and 10 for Fort Lupton. At the 25-yard line. Once again, a few steps behind center is Vargas. Has the football, back to throw, pressure coming up the middle, takes off with the ball at the 30-yard line, up the right sideline, and tackled by a Beat Digger in Trent Mount across the 35 to the 36, a gain of 11, and a Blue Devil first down.
Yeah, he's the offense for them, that's for sure. That takes him up to 64 yards running 8 times tonight. Also has 166 yards passing. He's the offense.
Without a doubt.
Rush has stayed in that 5-man or that 5 defensive lineman front pretty much all night long. Kenny Stegner's been the defensive end, and seems like he's 2 yards in the backfield every play.
First and 10 from the 36. Vargas back to throw. Slant is caught over the middle at the 46-yard line at the 50, and that is Luke Herron into Beat Digger territory at the 46. It's a gain of 18 yards. Another Blue Devil first down as they're looking to get on the board here with 4:14 to go in the game.
Herron has 95 yards receiving tonight.
From the 46. Well, the Beat Diggers have a defensive touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a passing touchdown. Looking for not only their second victory, their second shot out of the season. I mentioned they did it to Lamar, 34-0 in week 2. Gavin Case repositions himself to the left. 2 receivers put out that side, 1 to the right. From the Beat Digger 46. Vargas, 3 yards behind center, takes a 5-step drop. Pressure coming up the middle, works out of it. Now he's going to be hit and down at the 45. There's a flag down. An excellent play there made by Daniel Abadka, and now down is going to be Morales. See if he's okay, but I think that flag's got to be against Fort Lupton, Dave.
Yeah, I do too. It's back there where the holds usually happen. We were trying to put some pressure on Vargas, and that's where the flag was thrown. Morales is acting like he's got a cramp.
Yeah, I did not even see the preliminary signal, but Morales is up. We've got 3:33 to go in the game. The Beat Diggers lead 20-0. All the points were scored here in the second half.
Morales is running off the field pretty good now. Doesn't look like he's held up any.
Jaron Peterson, in case you missed it, went over 1,000 yards tonight for the season. Needed 153. And I believe has, 186, Dave?
Yep, he was at 188 there for a little bit.
Yep, right, so that's a hold. And that hold took place well behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, we're going to be looking here at a 1st and 20-something. They got to get to the Brush 35. The ball's at the 38 of Fort Lupton. So that's 1st and 27. We've already seen that in this game. First and 27 for Fort Lupton. Can the Bee Diggers register the shutout? That penalty certainly will help them. In the gun, Vargas back to throw, pressure coming. He's going to be sacked. He's going to be sacked by Ryan Dunker at the 32-yard line. It's a loss of 6, and Dunker came from the right side, and he was virtually untouched.
Yeah, and he looks like he might have landed on Vargas just the way he wanted to, because Vargas is a little slow getting up.
And in fact, it's back to the 31 for a loss of 7. They've been second and 34.
Well, that's a long ways to go, except for when you think about the 40-yard pass plays they've had tonight.
Well, they need one right now. A 30-yarder will not get him a first down, but a 40 would.
They better pay attention to where that Heron kid is. He's got 95 yards receiving.
Second down and 34 to go for the 31. Vargas back to throw, and he's going to take off with the football and underhanded, but his knee was down. He slipped. Either that or he slipped or was tripped up back at the 28. Loss of 3. All right, Dave, 3rd and 37 now. What do you think of that?
Still doable for them. Right there, that was a pretty athletic play by Vargas. He was going down and saw he had a receiver in front of him and actually did an underhanded toss forward. And if his knee wouldn't have been down, the official would have been guilty of an inadvertent whistle.
Right. Yep. So here we go with a 3rd down and 37. They've got 2 receivers split out to the left. We're under or close to 2 minutes to go in the game. On 3rd down, back to throw is Vargas behind his offensive line, throws over the middle. The pass is caught, but well short of a first down to Torres at the 43. It's a gain of 15.
15-yard gain.
However, it's 4th down and about 22 to go for the Blue Devils with 1:39 to go, and they're going to go for it here.
They've got 199 yards passing tonight. Tell you what, Vargas isn't that big, but he throws the ball really well.
Yeah, he does. Wow, you just stunned me with that, Dave, but you're right. They've had those big plays.
Yeah, he's right on the money.
All right, here we go. On 4th down and 22 from their own 43-yard line. Vargas is back to throw. Pressure coming through the middle. Pass over the middle is caught by Case, but well short of a first down. It's only a 5-yard gain as Jade Queen, or gain that is, as Queen makes the tackle. And the Bee Diggers will just take 2 knees, and they will win their regular season finale up by 20.
Yeah, good job there by that brush defense tonight. You're right, they bent quite a bit, but they didn't break.
Dave and I will name a Bee Digger player of the game after this one. And Dave and I already, we have a unanimous choice. Dave writes it down, and either give him an alternative or another candidate, or we just basically say, yep, that's definitely it. No doubt. Well, do they go with a straight handoff or take a knee? I mean, they're setting up like they might hand it off. Bounce under center. Handoff right side to Wellen. Wellen in the secondary across the 35 to the 30. It's a gain of 17 for Nick Wellen. Well, now you can certainly take a knee. Well, Fort Lupton does have 2 timeouts, but I didn't think they would even use them.
You know, you might as well play the whole season. You know, play it out. You don't have anything next week. You don't have to worry about injuries or anything like that. You might as well try to poke it in the end zone one more time.
That's Wellen's last play of 2016. Well, the Bee Diggers either have one more handoff left in them or can just take a knee. On 1st and 10 from the Fort Lupton 30-yard line, down to 38 seconds to go. Mount letting the play clock get down inside of 5 seconds. Handoff on the left side, and just bowling his way is Andrew Guzman for 3 yards to the 27, his first carry of the season. Dave, I think that might be appropriate.
Hey, the refrigerator gets paid back for a lot of great blocking and a lot of really good defense.
Look at Jaron Peterson put both of his arms up in the air, knowing that the Bee Diggers have closed out the 2016 season with a 20-0 victory over the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. We'll take a break and wrap it up after this on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Fort Lupton High School. The Bee Diggers have defeated the Fort Lupton Blue Devils 20-0. Bee Digger post-game show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center with 3 locations to serve you better. Sterling Brush and Fort Morgan, your headquarters. For all your home, farm, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed, Mr. D's Ace Home Center. As the Bee Diggers won the game, as I mentioned, 20-0. No points were scored in the opening half, and then a pivotal play in the third quarter when Fort Lupton got into Brush territory after a long pass, and then a strip of Jalen Torres resulted in approximately a 53-yard fumble return by Isaac Morales. Extra point was good, and it was 7-0 at that point. Then the Bee Diggers later on in the third would actually score in the first play in the fourth. It was a drive that started with 5:05 to go third quarter. 11 plays, 81 yards. In 5 minutes and 5 seconds, Jaron Peterson, who had a huge night that Dave will talk about momentarily, scored from 2 yards out. 14-0 was the score. Fort Lupton then threatened after a nice pass play, but Trent Mount picked off a pass in the end zone. And then quite a while later, 10 plays for Brush, 80 yards in 5 minutes and 4 seconds. 29-yard pass from Cade Urich to Trent Mount. PAT was blocked. And there you have it, Dave. 20-0 as the Bee Diggers win the game, their second of the season, to close out the regular season, snapping a 6-game losing streak. It's a huge win for the seniors, especially Jaron Peterson. But first, let's go to the Fort Lupton totals, because even though the Bee Diggers won by 20, the yardage numbers were fairly similar for both teams.
Yeah, Fort Lupton ended up with 266 yards offense tonight. 199 of those were in the air. They completed 11 of 21 attempts. They had 6 good receivers out there that all got the ball, but their 2 big receivers were Heron, who had 3 catches for 95 yards, and then Case had 3 catches for 52 yards. Vargas ran the ball 10 times for 54 yards, and then Torres had 19 carries for 31 yards. But, a pretty salty offense with some fast players.
They were more successful with the passing game than Brush was, but the Bee Diggers had the running game going undoubtedly.
Absolutely. Like we said before, Peterson ended up with 31 carries tonight. He had 186 yards. Nick Wellen had 4 carries for 35 yards. Lopez had a carry for 3. Isaac Morales had 3 carries for 18 yards. And then Guzman, the refrigerator, had a 3-yard carry there at the end of the game. Cade Urich picked up 5 yards on 1 carry, and then Mount ended up carrying the ball and getting sacked a few times for a total of a negative 11 yards. But Cade Urich did end up completing a couple passes. We threw the ball 8 times total between Mount and Urich, completed 2 of those, both of them to Mount. One of them was a huge touchdown pass for total of 44 yards.
Bee Digger Player of the Game is brought to you by Cargill Beef, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at cargill.com. With a 20-0 game, knowing that defense dominated for Brush, it has to go to a defensive player who's also an offensive player as well, Dave, and I think we agreed who that was.
Yeah, I think you got to give it to Guzman. He had a great game over there. He had a bunch of big tackles for losses. They tried to, run around the end. They tried that reverse was a huge one down over here where he ended up tackling for like a negative 7 yards. And, he just had a really good game defensively and a great game offensively blocking.
And, Dave, what about these seniors who close out their career with a victory after a tough season? So many of them. We mentioned Peterson and Mount and guys who didn't play every game because of injury, but certainly there was enough of a contingent here to celebrate this particular victory, whether they were in this game or not, because they were part of this season.
Yeah, good for them. I hope they enjoyed the year. Sometimes people get hung up on wins and losses, but, the point is they got to play, and a lot of kids don't have that opportunity. They do, and they play for a good town and a good school and a good coach, and they should be proud that they had that opportunity to play. And I hope they had fun and they didn't just think about winning and losing. They got to focus on the fun.
Absolutely. It's been 15 years since the Bee Diggers missed the playoffs, but, again, it's a good stepping stone to next year. You played a solid second half against Platte Valley in a loss, and then you came out tonight on the road and beat a Blue Devil team that was certainly very athletic on both sides, but Brush came to play here in the second half and won the game by a score of 20-0. 2-7, the final record for the Bee Diggers this season. Dave, hard to believe we're not going to be doing games in November.
Yeah, that's It's a shocker, isn't it? So we're going to have to figure out some other way to go out for dinner. Usually we have at least one fancy dinner, at the end of the season. But, it's been a pleasure. I sure appreciate KSR and all the sponsors that, allow this to happen for Brush High School and the Beet Diggers. And it's a pleasure getting to work with you. And it's fun to come out here and smell popcorn in the fall.
No, it's awesome. And the weather tonight was fantastic, by the way. Never talked about that. It wasn't a factor in the game. No wind. Now we're in the press box, but even so, the people outside were enjoying the game a little bit more normally than they do in late October, when it can get very dreary and chilly. In fact, during this day in Beet Digger history, at halftime, it was a Brushweld Central game from 5 years ago where it was pretty darn cold, and the Beet Diggers won 51-7. But for those teams and the fans, it seemed like it took a heck of a lot longer. All right, we'll talk to you once again coming up in November for Brush Beet Digger basketball. Actually, December, I should say, for basketball and for wrestling with Rob Hastings and Jason Holdren. A reminder, Fort Morgan Mustangs are headed to the playoffs. You can follow them on Morgan County's B106 as well as B106.com. They have their regular season finale coming up on Friday night in Longmont against the Trojans. Outstanding job all season by our sound engineer and producer, Rose Condis, and our replay engineer, Julie Garcia. One final wave for Dave Urich to close out the 2016 football season. The final score once again tonight. I'm John Beltran with the Brush Beet Diggers defeating the Fort Lupton Blue Devils in Fort Lupton 20-0. You've been watching the Beet Digger postgame show on Facebook Live and listening to Brush Beet Digger football on 1010 KSIR and on the World Wide Web at KSIR.com.